Corporate Recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a backend software developer intern in Canada. And I review more than just tech resumes, but right now the tech market is... So most of the resumes that are sent to me are tech. So this is technically supposed to be a backend Java software developer intern in Canada, but you're really not going to find that much Java specific internships. So it really doesn't matter like what your tech stack is for an intern. It just matters that you put the rest of the stuff. So you could have Java, Python, full stack. This is where you learn it's usually doesn't tech agnostic. Now, once you get your first full-time role, you better not be a tech agnostic resume. That is when you actually need to pick a stack. So with the disclosure that I am a US-based recruiter, although I have gotten people jobs in Canada, what we need for a backend software developer intern in Canada is a degree. They just want to see that you're enrolled, a basic knowledge of the tech stack, so like language, library, SQL, cloud, SDLC, Git, the ability to work well with others, and that you take direction and criticism. If you do not have the ability to take direction and criticism and work well with others as an intern, you are probably going to get rejected. That is a necessary thing that you need to put on your resume. It is a soft skill that you need to show. And you cannot just say, took direction. You need to state something like, it would be met weekly with the hiring manager to discuss the work for next week and took applied their criticism to my work before next meeting, something like that. So recruiters only have 20 seconds to view their resume, anybody's resume. So can I find this in 20 seconds? This is I do not know the ratio. So ratio is how you can tell how good your resume is. Anything over 1 in 50 is bad, which is 1 application per 50 applications per 1 interview. You ideally want to have less than 1 in 50. So 20 seconds and go. Developed a robust Spring microservices architecture, leveraging a PostgreSQL database. Scalable Java boot, that's fine. Containerized backend with Docker engineering, Python web. Reliable scaling and interface. It's not, you have part of the tech. Blazing, don't use Blazingly. Python. All right, and that is it. So, this is probably like a 1 in 75. Mainly because they don't have how they work together as a team, and took criticism. But let me read what they wrote. First time submitter, long time viewer. I first started applying 3 weeks ago, and I've applied to 60 plus jobs. That is not going to be enough. You ideally want to do about 50 applications a week. Although I will say in Canada there probably isn't 50 internships a week, so depends on where you are. But most people should aim for 50 applications per week, because if your resume is like a C- resume, that will get you 1 interview per week. Let's see. I've not heard back from any of the applications. I'm planning on becoming a backend Java developer, but this is my first internship. I'm currently applying to anything tech related where it looks like I might have a chance. Okay. Please go super hard on me. I want to know everything I can improve, from the big errors to the smallest nitpicks. Also, I'm planning to change my resume to your format soon, but have not gotten around to it yet. Cheers. Okay, so this is my format for my resume. It is in the link below. This is how you do it. It is free. You need to use it. This is the best resume format you can use. I will say it doesn't fully work for people that are primarily contractors or high level managers and directors, but for everybody else, from baristas to software engineers to accountants, you want to use this. This is what it should look like. So let me show you a couple of flaws that you have in this. One, you want to remove this type of language, right? I'm learning how to draw on this. So this says robust. Don't put robust. Don't put blazingly fast. Blazingly fast and robust are, I don't know if they're adjectives, but basically they're trying to make it seem like it's more than it is. And in your resume, you'd never want to use those types of language. You actually want to use the boring basic language, right? So I don't want to see robust tier 3 support or let's see, I guess even responsive, because it's sort of implied that it's responsive. I'd rather say developed a user interface would be better. So developed a 3-tier Spring MVC architecture for URL shortening. This is fine. Engineered a scalable backend application using Java and Spring Boot while utilizing Maven. So yeah, these are good. The problem is you don't tell me how you can work well with others. So the first thing I would say is you should flip these 2 sentences. These two should be flipped. Mainly because if the Java and the Spring Boot framework and the Maven are one of the more important things that you want to put, and you want to put the very basics of the tech stack first. So when you would go for an actual Java developer job, a full-time one, you would put like Java, let's see, what are the other ones? Spring, Maven, SQL, and maybe CI/CD in the first part. So you have the tech for this, and how you wrote this tech was fine. It's good. But again, I don't see anywhere here about how... Yeah, don't say just rigorous. About you actually working together as a team. Again, these are nice sentences, but that's a quarter of the 50% of the qualifications, right? You have the degree, you have the tech, but where's the ability to work well with others and take direction and criticism? Worked in a teams of up to 4. See, this is good. I actually like this one right here, this sentence. Worked in teams of up to 4 developers using, don't just say utilizing, GitHub and agile methodologies such as Jira and Kanban to collaborate. That's actually good. The problem is, if you noticed, I only got down to like here before I stopped reading, and that was the amount of time. So I think this is fine and this is fine, but on these extracurricular, you can keep these as projects. Like, what is the difference between a game development club member creating a video game and a phasmophobia simulator? The answer to that is nothing. They're both projects, both you could put in. So if anything, I would put this one up here. And this is where you can show that you could work well with others. Now, I do also need to see that you can take direction and criticism, because remember, as an intern, you are going to be told what to do. And this may be your first job in the corporate world. And they do not want you to join and then freak out on everybody because they told you, hey, your HTML was hyperbole or whatever. And then you go, it's not hyperbole, it's a simile. And then you just punch the monitor and walk out. They don't want that because they've dealt with people like that before. So I'm going to need to see something of how you got led, right? Not that you leading people, that you got led. But this is a good sentence down here about working in as a team. You should just switch the simulator with it. And then I need something about how you took direction from other club members. Now, it can be in those teams we gave each other criticism on our code to implement before the next section or whatever it is you want to say. But that is what I'm missing. So again, this is not a horrible, terrible resume. Like, yes, I would reject this, but it's not going to take you a terrible amount of time to actually fix. And it's kind of all I can do for this one because you already know the formatting errors. So what I will say is if you ever need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And thank you all to people that are watching, commenting, liking, subscribing. I really do appreciate it. And I want to give an extra heartfelt thanks to the members of my channel who get access to my videos early. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. And let's go to the next resume. This is a data analyst, which I had to delete the previous recording because there was an error, so I already did the 20 seconds of it. And the answer to that was it good or was it bad? It was not terrible, but they're an international. And if you're an international, you're going to need all the help you can get. I've helped internationals get 1 in 30 application ratio, but this was before the Trump changes. So right now, sometimes that could be anywhere between 1 in 30 and 1 in 75. Or 1 in 100, which is, for an international, probably some of the best you can get. So what we need is for a data analyst is degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, influencing stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical people, how you solved a problem with the data, not what the data is, MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, ETL, Python, R, multiple projects, deadlines, and a nice to have is cloud. So my big problem with this resume is both formatting and the sentence structure. So I want everybody to remember these are qualifications and the difference between a qualification and a keyword, because this has the keywords, but it doesn't necessarily have the qualifications. So a keyword is going to be one of these, and that's basically something that the hiring manager needs, whether it is a soft skill or a hard skill. I've never heard anybody refer to them as hard skills. There's got to be a better name for that. I guess technical would be better. So as long as it's a skill they need. So in this case, any of these would be it. Python, influencing people, SQL, But that is a keyword, not a qualification. So a qualification is a keyword plus how you used it, which this person actually did say, plus the reason or results of you using it, which this person kind of did not do, plus where it is. And the where is mainly because this is why skill sections and summaries don't count, is you can't show me where. So the way I would like this to be written is don't do this right here. I'm going to try to highlight it in this. They put like SQL, Power BI here, AWS here, AI here. Don't do that. That can be safely deleted. I want to see it here, right? This is where we need it in this stuff, not at the off in the corner in the very beginning, right? So integrated data from 5 website APIs for cross-market analytics is not necessary. This is not really something that we care about. Trained for coworkers on SQL is. That's actually a really good way to describe it. And a good way to even slip in a brag is you are so good at SQL that you trained 4 coworkers on it, which is good. So I actually like that, and let Excel migrations. But remember, I don't just want Excel, I want macros, pivot tables, and VLOOKUP. So I want you to say, and advanced Excel, and then in parentheses say macros and pivot tables, or macros and VLOOKUP. But a problem with this is, I don't know if this is your entire job. Is your entire job just integrating 5 websites? I don't know, because that's what it seems like. I want a better summary here of what you do. Identified 35K ad spend, that's nothing. So this could be absolutely nothing or very impactful to the company, and this is why you don't want to do this. You don't want to say that, but you can say identified AV overspend by unifying. See, here's the problem. None of this is something I'm looking for. So none of this is here, and this can be deleted. Saved 8 hours a week. Again, the number doesn't matter. But you can say saved hours weekly by automating our ETL pipelines in MySQL, which is good, but I don't care about Glue. And this I don't care about. So when you start taking out the stuff that is irrelevant, then you're starting to get to an issue of where this resume is starting to get problems. Because at its, like, when you just read it, like, okay, I guess that's nice. But when you're reading this through a lens of trying to hire somebody, everything I've highlighted can safely be deleted. Can be deleted. This is okay. And then if you notice, I don't see any of this. Where's the influencing stakeholders? Where's the data visualization? Where's the macros and pivot tables? You did say Excel, but not the macros and pivot tables. Where's the Python? Where's the multiple project? Where's the deadlines? And then we go down here. Again, you don't want to put this like this. This should be deleted. Unveiled. I don't care about the number. Data quality. Yeah, nothing here is related. You did not say this was an Excel pivot table, so this doesn't count. And again, this doesn't, like, nothing else here is related, right? Like that's kind of the problem, is none of that is. Now, would I like to know that you identified profit drivers to support strategic decisions? Yes, actually that part is related, but the rest of it isn't. And again, that is a context for how you used it. So I don't want you to say identified profit drivers. I want you to say used Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, SQL, data visualization to identify profit drivers and communicate those findings to our stakeholders to drive their decisions. That's how I want you to write it. But right now, I only am really looking at like half of the stuff here that is relevant. Same with KPIs. KPIs is, weirdly enough, for a data analyst, not something a lot of job descriptions actually have in. It's something you may be doing, but it's not in the job description. And again, I need to see other stuff here. So data models company-wide, predictive modeling, accuracy. Yeah, so this is my big problem with this resume, is it just doesn't have the stuff I'm actually looking for. And based on how you wrote these sentences, you're going to get more rejections than you're going to get interviews. So I'm going to need you to go back and fix the formatting of this, then fix the sentence structure, because the essence of a good bullet point is there, but you're burying it under these 15 products and 6 self-updating and 50 plus tickets and KPI focused and identifying top. That one's actually good. Sorry, that's a good number. The only good number I see is that one. And across 19 million and 18%. You want to avoid these numbers as much as you can. Unless you're in sales or a manager, The only numbers I should see on your resume are your contact information and your dates of employment. That's it. I can't really think of any other reason I would want a number on your resume. Unless you're in sales or a manager, they need the numbers. So that's all I can do for this one. They are in my live stream, so I'm going to help them out a little bit more after. But for everybody else, next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. So for what we need for a full stack software engineer is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, React, or React.js, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, SQL, or NoSQL, MongoDB, RESTful API, or REST API, Cloud, CI/CD, Git, .NET, or Python, or Java. And sometimes if you have .NET or Python or Java, you can get away with not putting TypeScript, but it's best to have TypeScript anyway. And a bonus points for all of that stuff. So this person has a 1 in 100 ratio, which is not good. Ideally we want less than that, but let's see what the problem is and go. Okay, formatting's fine. Yep, that's probably the problem. This is not needed. Full stack using TypeScript, JavaScript, Node that enable student post questions. Okay, that's good. Built with React. Well, I don't care about that or that. Integrated AI to that. And that's it. Okay, so let's see what you are missing. So this is the stuff I don't really care about in the resume. Also, a big issue here, and I pointed this out on stream because this person was also on stream. They don't have their location. Now, you can, in fact, get away with not putting citizenship in this section, right? I think you should because it can reduce bias, weirdly enough. But if you don't put U.S. citizen, that's not going to be an instant rejection. You know, I mean, if you're not, then you still have to answer it and your opportunities are less. But if you are a U.S. citizen and you don't put it on, that doesn't mean it's an instant rejection. This, though, is critical. You need your location. Recruitment is, by its core, location-based. Yes, there are remote roles. That happens. But you're not going to easily get a remote role, especially if you don't have any IT experience directly. Remote roles usually go to people with 5+ years of experience, and you are paid less than. So if you are a entry-level software engineer, which this person is, you are probably not going to get a remote role. It's highly, highly unlikely. Most of those have been outsourced, which you can all fight about in the comments below, but that's a video for probably a different person. But yeah, the fact that you do not put your location is going to be a giant deal breaker. In addition, this is filled with a lot of stuff that I don't need. Like this, I do need RESTful API. This, but then you already said this here. But that's okay to have that one twice, weirdly enough, because I had to redo this because RESTful API or REST API is good. But what is it that you don't have? So let's see this. So you have this part, good. We have we have REST and RESTful API. That's good. Cloud. I think you have this. Let's be nice and say that you have it there, because if you don't, then there's not really much you can do about it if you haven't used it. But what am I missing? I see CI/CD and Git. Okay, good. Where is SQL? In fact, yeah. Where is the rest of it? So you only need about 50% of what I need, right? So that's a problem. This is, okay, here it is down here. So let's say you have it there, but where is the other backend language? Like, let's say that they found the SQL, right? That's fine. I'm still missing React or Node or Angular or Next.js or .NET or Python or Java. And I don't see it because right now you're meeting like maybe 60 to 65%. I need like one extra little thing. And I also need you to remove a lot of this other extraneous stuff, because that means they may not even get to this part. Because remember, I don't care about Supabase. I don't care about Versal. I don't care about Judge Zero or Open Router. And honestly, this entire sentence could probably be removed. So this is the difference of what you want to do. When you're making an intern resume, this is a good sentence, right? I like this. It tells you how you work well together with others. That's good. But when you're applying for your first actual job, this sentence doesn't really have anything I need since you already mentioned RESTful API here. So this combined with the fact that you have only about 60% of what we need, you have a bunch of extraneous stuff, and the fact that you did not include your location is probably why you're getting a 1 in 100. So let's see. You wrote, been submitting a lot. I haven't heard anything back. Yeah, so that's my biggest issue here is A, the location, B, there's still a lot of extraneous stuff, and C, I just don't see like React or Node.js or Angular. I guess down here is the Angular, that's fine. But I need just a smidge more, right? Because this isn't needed. This sentence would be fine. If anything, you should probably put this as your sentence first, because this has also everything. JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Yeah. Like, that's kind of my issue. Like, this is my issue with this one is this is a good sentence. This is a good sentence. This is a mid sentence. Then this has nothing I need. I probably should not use green for the nothing. So we need to change up a couple of things, but your location is probably the biggest deal breaker. Above all, especially for an entry level. Like, if you just put that location, you will probably start getting a lot more interviews. So that's all I can do for this one. Let's go to the next resume. This is what is this? A mechanical design engineer. This person is in the Netherlands, so I'm going to have to view this as if they were in the US. So these may be slightly different, and that's unfortunately the best I can do with that. But what we need in the US for a mechanical design engineer is degree, type of field, so like aerospace or nauticals or electrical circuits, the type of product. So in electrical circuits, it'll be I don't know enough about electrical circuits. I placed electrical engineers before and circuit design engineers before, but I forgot what was in it. So the stuff inside the circuits, or thermal sciences, or engines on trains, etc. Then we want SolidWorks, AutoCAD, or Pro-E, finite element analysis, FEA, CFD. Describe the products you worked on in a simple manner because we have to understand that it's actually relevant. Common tools for that section of the industry because, again, man, that plane is loud. So airplanes would have slightly different tools than a car manufacturing mechanical design engineers. So there's going to be a couple of industry specific ones that I'm just not going to be able to catch. Driver's license, in the US at least, you do not need to put that on your resume, but you can in fact say, valid driver's license until X, because a lot of these companies do need you to drive around to a lot of places and fix stuff. So this person's ratio is unknown. There's been a lot of unknowns in this episode. In 20 seconds. Also, this made me giggle so much when I saw it. I spent out of the corner of my eye, I spent a minute laughing. So I love this little dude. I'm going to make him me. Hold on. We're going to make him me. This is now me. Where's the little red here? There we go. All right. There we go. This is now me. All right. I am now a 70s person. All right. Anyway. So, 20 seconds and go. All right. Industrial engineer, design good. 3D modeled in, designed to design an actively cooled vaccine box. Okay, really good. Prepared GDT compliant and Autodesk and applied for general manufacturing for, I don't know why that's not moving. Collaborated with a team of 7 members, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers. This is not necessary, but I do like you at least told me what you did. Sheet metals, production, design, mechanical setting, SolidWorks setting. Okay, this is probably a pass if it was in the U.S. and U.S. citizen, but let me read what they wrote. This is the second time I'm sending. Here's a list of details I want to ask. Oh boy. Due to layoffs and constant explanation for companies, I decided to remove it from my resume entirely. Let's see. I wonder if this would damage my leverage in offshore industry. It shouldn't. Your dates of employment look okay. I will say... Actually, yeah, there is a bit of an issue with some of those dates of employment. This might actually be the case you want the other type of resume, which I have another type that I can teach people. It's not better or worse. It's just if your resume ends up being a little job hoppy through usually no fault of your own, honestly, if let's be honest, through it'll look like this. So this is the other type of resume format. Basically, I call it a job, like a 3-bucket resume. And what you would want to do, and again, this is only for people that are very job hoppy, or alternatively are high level managers, is you have little buckets like here that are broad. So this would be like management. This one would be, let's say, like scaling and growing the company, and this stuff would be like technical. And then you put in stuff from every part of your company here, and then you just list the total amount of years of experience you have with that at max. So if you have like two things of 2 years of experience, it does not add to 4. You just say 2 years of experience. And then you sort of bucket them together like this in here. And then at the very bottom down here, you put your actual work history right up here. Which you don't put anything under it, right? Nothing down here. It's just this. So this is a way to structure your resume. You still have to write the bullet points the same. You still have to sort of have the same information. It's just where you organize it, which this might be a better case because you've only been here for 4 months and you've only been here for 5 months, and that doesn't look great. But yeah, and you've only been here for 5 months and you've only been here for 5 months, but the dates of employment are off. And then here, a year and a half and 2 months and 2 months. Yeah, this will be an issue. So this is what we want to do. I think you actually want to use the other one. This stuff, right? Like the actual bullet points are not going to change. We're just going to bundle them together differently. And then you're going to put your entire work history down here, and that might help more. So, on to the bullet points themselves. On to the bullet points themselves. And again, I'm not blaming you for being a job hopper because it's not your fault, but it doesn't matter if it's your fault or not. You still have to deal with it. Because again, like, I've been there, right? Like, I've been in cases where sometimes you just get continuously laid off through no fault of your own, and it's entirely possible that candidates can get into a vicious downward cycle. So this is what you need to do to sort of correct that cycle. But now to the bullet points themselves. So I have the field, which I really like. I will say I actually think these should be reversed. So I think it should be designed a vaccine box, or an actively cooled vaccine box with, and then you put this stuff in, and then you put this part in. So essentially it's going to be this part first, then this part, then this part. But otherwise that is pretty good. It's just the order is making it a little bit better. Then GDT, I don't know if that's needed, but it's fine because you do the rest of the stuff and it gives me context. Drawings in Autodesk Inventor and Design for Manufacturing Principles, DFM, which I don't know if I need, but maybe that is the difference between CFD and Optimized through Design for Assembly Approaches. See, the thing is, this may be a difference of just in the Netherlands, but I don't know if there's anything in this sentence that is relevant to this. So this sentence might be able to be removed. I don't need to see that you collaborated in a team of 7. Remember, that is specifically interns. And then this I like because it gives me context, but the rest of it I don't think I have. Like here is where you could sort of put some very common industry tools, which maybe this is this stuff and I'm just missing it, which is fine. I cannot be in every industry. Plan mass production strategy around rotomold, plastic molding, and sheet metal using digital designs is good. So yeah, most of this is good. We just need to sort of condense some of it, and I think it's mostly good. The big issue is sort of this. So how we're going to need to put it on again is you're probably going to need to switch to this format, and then we're going to need to bundle these together to maybe like, I'd say this would be for you probably what you did. So maybe like vaccines or whatever. This is a plastic molding or injecting. So this will be the overarching topic, and then you can fit in those bullet points there. And then here can also be stuff about, say, like common tools and then industry. So I think there's a way to structure this a little bit differently, but the job hopping is going to be an issue. And again, it may not be your fault at all. Like it and I wish I could say that it, because it's not your fault, it's not going to matter. But unfortunately, this is a case of even though it is probably not your fault, you still have to deal with the consequences. And this type of resume is specifically how you do to counteract that perception. And trust me, I've had to fight managers because I've had to tell them, like, look, a lot of the times it's not that they don't want to do this, it's that they get into a contract cycle where no company will hire them except for other contractors, and because of that, they can only go to contracting, which is why they've not worked in a stable job before. Which sucks, but that's unfortunately the common thing that people view. So that's all I can do for this one. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of another full stack. So same qualifications list. We don't know their ratio. And that's all I got. So let's go. 3, 2, 1, and boom. All right. Use Java and Spring Boot, PostgreSQL for REST APIs. Good. Got TypeScript, Vite, too much. Latency kiosk. Okay. Your formatting I do not like. Too much here. Implemented features in MVC and solid principles. Okay. Don't really care. Query. Maybe care. Leverage. Has this agentic workflow to take over. It's not bad. I need more. And decline. Your problem is this is very, 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 very wordy. You want a maximum of 8 bullet points, and you have, let's see, that's 4. You have, no, that's 8, 9, 10. So you have 10, which is too many, and these are superfluous, quite a lot of them. So, first off, formatting. Please use this formatting. It is way easier to read. Again, you want your location. This goes for everybody. You need your location. I need to see location. It is so important. It needs to be here. The amount of remote jobs has shrunk, and the amount of applicants applying for them is massive. If you apply for a remote job, it's going to mess up your ratio, and which, you know, sucks because, like, I want to be clear, I like remote work, but that's what the market is dictating. Second is these bullet points are wordy, and not a lot of those words are the words that I need. So, as an example, this starts off pretty strong, like here, but then you go with stuff like Vite and material, right? And then this stuff, I don't really care because it's kind of nothing. But you can say this, right? And then we can put a 4. So used Java, Spring Boot, PostgreSQL, REST APIs, which again, React and TypeScript to design dispensation kiosks for emergency and regular healthcare products. I don't care about this, which, I mean, honestly, this is really good. I want to be clear. This is a real situation of if you solve world hunger, I don't care unless you did it with TypeScript. So I personally congratulate you, the fact that you are helping reduce overdoses. You are really, really good at that. You should be proud. You should pat yourself on the back. Probably this is not relevant for your resume, though, which I really hate saying. Second, if we are going for full stack, I want to see in the very first part used Java, and then maybe you did say TypeScript. Java, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. That needs to be in the very beginning. In fact, can I even find JavaScript? Yeah, it's all the way at the bottom. This would not work for full stack. That's way, way, way down at the bottom. And then, is there CSS? No. Is there HTML? No. Is there React? You did have React, right. Is there Node? Nope. All the way at the bottom doesn't count. Angular. Okay, so this is not... Next. Nope. I think I saw SQL, though, right? Yeah, SQL was right up there. That was good. Cloud, I didn't see... I think you told me this was supposed to be a 1 in 75. This is not a 1 in 75. Well, you know what? Actually, you do have some of this stuff. It's hard to find, but probably like a 1 in 90. Again, there's some stuff that's good. This sentence has nothing I want. MVC for a normal software engineer is not something I care about. There is one, I think it's mobile. Let me look. It's in Ruby on Rails, and iOS devs want MVC. The others don't, as far as I can tell. So that's irrelevant. Let's see. So this entire sentence has nothing in it. This is, again, you already mentioned React in the same one. This can be deleted. This is pretty good. I like it. You want to, let's see, serving thousands of users across our, and let's see, this is too much still. Leverage, just don't say leverage, just say used. I like agentic, although you're probably going to have to tell me like what type of agentic it is. So I'd like another word there. So if you're going for like LangGraph or Claude or N8N, I think it's called, to... In fact, I don't know if any of this is necessary. Like, you could just say used AI-assisted agentic development workflows for our back-end system design, API implementation, and front-end UI development within a 2-engineer team supporting a production platform. Engineered a modal system architecture using context API. You already mentioned APIs, I think, earlier. Or if not, you should have. And again, too much word. Too much words say not enough. It root causes, again, AWS is all the way. Why is AWS all the way down here? AWS should be in your second or first bullet point. Also, this is only a single keyword per. Remember, you want about 3 to 6 keywords per bullet point. So, this does not work as a resume. Its formatting does not work. It's too bulky. But, again, it's a lot easier to take this stuff out than add it in the first place, so I don't think it's going to take you too long to fix it. But that's it for this resume, and I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, liking, and subscribing. Thank you very much, and I wanted to thank my members again personally for being members. I really does mean a lot. I know you get access to videos a little early, but still, I appreciate it. And if anybody needs any more help, they can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and get the help you need. And I will see you all in the next video.